All right, so Thursday markets close. I feel like the day after the Fed talks is always more relevant, more significant regarding the direction of the markets in the short term. And I think today was that kind of a day. It wasn't dramatic, but I do feel like we're going to reverse and just go down a little bit, right? I'm looking at the Dow Jones, nothing special here, just a bit of a drop, at least gap fill, something like that. S&P, we almost rebounded to the absolute highs. Ridiculous. We're used to it, but come on, a small retracement. This is totally nullified, probably also to its own little gap fill. At least that's not asking much. The Russell underperforms as usual. Maybe it'll have its own little gap fill. Who knows? It could get a little crazy and do more than that. But Nasdaq, same thing. So what else? We got the dollar, which rallied from its lows. Why did it rally there? Because we're hitting this very long term, not very, but medium to long term support zone 101, right? I said 100.8/101. That is exactly where we bounce under 101 at the 100.8. Absolutely perfect. So now what do? We bounce, we probably revisit about 102 and then back down again. US dollar, Japanese yen, that will rebound. Obviously, everything will rebound according to its FX, but maybe I still think this is a possibility. US dollar, Japanese yen, we crack this 141. And then does that freak out the markets? Because that's what took down the markets last time, even though it's yen carry trade and the markets were going down before. I don't think that story's over. The DXY going down, which obviously helps commodities. Bonds kind of acting the same as the dollar, so they've rebounded off their lows. Obviously, the dollar's made new lows, but otherwise pretty similar. So bonds just rallying. The 2 years a bit stronger. This is like the uninversion, signal of recession, by the way. Commodities, what? Gold and silver. I thought we'd have it was a red day here. I'm just doing a video after hours, so it's like the next day, but it was a red day, nothing dramatic, right? I did think we were gonna stall here. To be honest, I've been selling the way up. I thought we would have stalled before, but I have sold. Yesterday I sold a bit. The day before I sold more than I've sold in a long time. So I do kind of it's a bit risky. I'm looking for a drop in the markets, and I'm hoping the miners go down with it. Gold is just so resilient. It's so strong. It's just going to 3,000. It doesn't matter if we have a surprise peace treaty, with Ukraine or even Israel. It'll go down 50, $100, and then 7 weeks later we're at new highs. Worst case scenario. But otherwise, it's just inflate. Like that's it. It's done for me. Gold and silver, non-stop. Gold, maybe not silver. So gold looks good, back to old breakout, right? 2480 closed roughly there. Makes sense. Can we go down more? I hope so. And yes, it's possible. I think we have Fed Powell speaking tomorrow. Some sort of, what is it over here? New home sales that could do something. But no crazy news. The Powell speaks. He'll probably do the usual vague nothingness where he balances and says everything and nothing at once. Yes, we'll likely raise rates. Will depend on data, which is all fraudulent. Silver topped out at this 29.50. Makes kind of sense. I thought between 29 and 29.50, this area was resistance. We did pop our head above, but we didn't close that well on daily. And today, signaling maybe a bit of a down move, maybe to 28. If there's a gap fill in the markets, silver can get to 28. Who knows? Silver could get weak again and go down to the 27 point something zone. That would be nice. I'd love to buy some of that with what I've sold yesterday and the day before. Miners, get rid of that. Also, a bit like markets, right? Kind of rallied all the way back to the old highs. This is why I've trimmed, because the miners, this is GDXJ, they're basically following the markets. And we know the markets are just up, 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 non-stop. They're due for a drop, right? Even going down 10% would be nothing. And we went down with the markets here, right? During the yen carry trade unwind. So maybe just that small gap fill that I covered at the beginning, that could take us down to, I don't know, 44, 43, something like that. A little 5, 7, 8, maybe 10's pushing it, because I still think gold and the miners will outperform the markets on the way down. But some sort of a retracement, just pick up EXK down 12% from where it is now, something like that. That little, it's greedy, and I would deserve it if it just turned around and went all the way up. I do have a call position, which is pretty beastly, but it's light compared to what I usually hold. So I don't know. I would be happy to see myself make money, but I think I would be happy at this rate seeing myself lose money so that I can add, because I obviously believe in this long term. The thesis has not changed, but that's how I know that I'm in a good position. I'm kind of happy either way. I look, I'm excited as soon as the market opens. Is it red? Is it green? I don't care. I'm happy. So I'm quite comfortable. I wanted to sell when it was moving up. I was selling, but it was too weak. And now I finally put more into it. So SILJ, look at that resistance. That was pretty clean. 12.7. That totally makes sense. Again, rallied very high with the markets. Maybe not as much because silver was weighed down, especially compared to gold. GDX, that made new highs, outperforming the markets, relatively speaking. But the seniors have been very, very strong on the way down, on the way up, even during this entire rally since I don't know when. The real juniors have been crap, and I'm so happy I got rid of them like a year ago, more than a year ago. I had almost half my portfolio a long time ago in juniors, and if I was holding that now, seeing what gold and silver have done, I'd be absolutely viciously angry because I just click on any of them. What's this? Okay, that one's all right. What's this? Liberty Gold, great. You're still at the bottom. You know what I mean? What is this? They probably will go up and they'll probably make more percentage than me, but it's just not for me anymore. Not for me anymore. Fury Gold, look at these moves up and then just back down. It's not like a Agnico and okay, Newmont only recently is doing well, but you know what I mean. It's just oh my god. Anyway, let's look at real quick. Let's look at my portfolio. Newmont, see that's much better. New highs, look at that. So strong, just outperforming the GDX, gold, silver, the general markets. So strong, and got so much more to go. This looks like it just wants to go all the way up to here, 55, have a small retracement, and then boom, I'm ready to hit the 80s and 90s. This is so good, and we've got good news behind us. Newmont could be the strongest one, actually. Barrick Gold, that's had very recent good news and has outperformed everything in the very, very short term. Had to do a small retracement, went back down to 20, touched it, closed above it. Very strong stuff. Even if it goes back down 19.5, retested descending. Lots of support. I don't want to cover all the support. I'll do that for the weekend video. Tomorrow's Friday. But lots of support on the way down and lots of wind in its sails. So a drop in the general sector would be great to buy more Barrick, actually. Newmont, same kind of thing applies. Agnico, same thing applies. Look how strong they are. Like what happened today was nothing, just 1.5% sideways. Next move up all the way to 84.39. We're so close to that now. Pan America, resistance on the descending. I thought it'd be 22. It was 21.67. It's kind of the same thing. Totally in line with the descending. Actually, that was my guess from a few days ago, so I think I would have adjusted it. And I trimmed this anyway. So down we go. Hopefully, first of all, will be 20.5, but that's too close. Next one, 19.5-ish. That's probably where you start to nibble. And then if you're lucky, 18.5 or lower. Wheaton, so strong, so strong. It just wants to make new highs. It'll probably be delayed until, the miners pick up. Maybe that's coinciding with the metals. Franco Nevada. I trimmed all of these. Look at that. It hit here 3 times in a row. 125.5. That was actually one of my sell zones. That's very nice. Metalla, I didn't sell that. I thought it's too low. My first sell would be around 3. But this rate is just probably going to go sideways. I feel like that will not underperform anymore. I think that's way too low. So that one I'm looking to outperform for outperformance, relative outperformance. First Majestic rallied all the way higher than where I thought it would go. That one's been trimmed, looking for a move back down, something like that. Fortuna, I don't think I saw Fortuna today. Yeah, that's okay. Let's see. Maybe if there's a big drop, 4.4. Otherwise, if it's strong, it holds where it is and then climbs to 5.4. Coeur d'Alene, I trimmed that yesterday. I really hope yeah, this one was good. All the way to 6.6. I thought it'd be 6.5, then it was 6.6. Trim. And now this is strong. This one will bounce well. I would love to pick it in the 5s, mid 5s. I think it will go to 6. That should be quite easy on any sort of drop. And then 5.5, it's very strong, relatively speaking. This one will not visit 4.6 again. Doesn't matter what happens. Heckler, all the way back up. Had good news. It's a good stock, had good news. This one I trimmed. I could have got a better price. I think I trimmed in at 6 or just at 6 breakout was 6.19. It's when I always sell at 19 cents. Anyways, just a couple of cents. Very, very, very strong. This one, no chance of going back down to 4.5. I don't know where it's going to pick up support. I don't think it'll be here. Actually, I get rid of that. I'm sure it won't be there. Maybe 5.2. No, it's never going to go there. I don't know. There you'd have to look at SILJ, silver, gold, and the general S&P or something to nail that one. EXK makes sense. This one I trimmed up here. That's all right. That should just come back down again. Had bad news. Should be weak on the way down. Maybe under 3, 2.8. Could even pick it up to 2.5 if it gets ugly. Mag Silver, that's okay. I got one of my cells missing at 13.99. Down we go. Maybe 12.5, maybe 11.5. Probably 12.5. It's quite strong, relatively speaking. Did not make a new low. That was quite strong. Aris Mining, that one's really strong. That one's probably the strongest. I don't really understand why it's so strong. I'm not even sure if there was any news, but that looks like it's just sideways and then squeeze, 4.8 and then go. Like 4.8 should be easy if it holds this area sideways. This is actually one of my lightest holdings, so I wish I hadn't sold as much. But I'm holding now, and if it goes up, then I'll just watch how far I can squeeze. If it goes back down again, no idea. No idea. Absolutely no idea. I'll just watch that one and try and aim my entry according to S&P, gold, silver, general miners index. I am gold, had good news, squeezed a lot, hit basically resistance all the way up here. Makes sense that it stalls out and comes back down, maybe to 4.6. That would be amazing. That's maybe asking too much. No, it's not. 10% after a crazy run like that. If the whole sector goes down, possible. I'd buy that. B2 Gold, a bit like Metalla, I'm holding, just looking for a much better price long term. I hold a dividend. In the meantime, that I'm not interested in selling until we basically test our way out of this long-term descending. Equinox trimmed that yesterday. It was just way too much. And today, I should have had a good till cancel buy at 5.6, but that's pretty good candle. I don't know, maybe it can go back down to 5.2. It visited that area a lot in the past, but that was quite the bounce. And yesterday that was quite a move. I had to sell that because I thought that we were going to go red like we did. SSRM did something similar. No, well, that was the day before it did something similar. But yeah, that one surprised me how high it rallied. Trimmed that at 549, right? That one I made a video saying I'd never thought it'd get to 549. I'd trim it if it did. It did. I also had sales at 569 and all the way up here at 589. But now I don't know where this will go. This one's really hard to call. At 5, it's a light support, otherwise below, it's hard to call. But this one, I feel like if you're going to hold and go sideways, this one could just squeeze. And you know what? It's got an excuse to squeeze. Let's remember where it is. It's a good stock. Yes, it had a mine collapse, but look at that. That's totally overpriced in. And now I feel like this could squeeze. So there are light sells on the way up because I feel like it could happen even on like bad news. It might not even go down any more bad news. And SBSW, which is not really gold and silver, that's just gone down with the general sector. So that's it. Try to be fast. I am holding now. I've done my sells. I've done my sells. There's nothing else to sell. All of my holdings are at the light value. I've got this little Excel and I've got light, medium, heavy. And against all the miners, I've got what I think light should be like. For example, Barrick Gold, Newmont, Agnico Eagle, Pan American Silver. My top 4 seniors, 5,000 is the light. For me, 5,000 is minimum. And obviously heavy, it just goes higher, 6,000, 7,800, 8,000, 5,000 is minimum. After that, I've got like Wheaton, Franco-Nevada, they're at the 4,000. And then I got some silver stocks and some of these I am gold and 4,000 is minimum. And then the more aggressive silver stocks like First Majestic, EXK, 3,000. Curl is four. It's actually above four now. No, it's four now. I trimmed it yesterday. So it's like three, four, and 5,000. And it used to be more. So I'm light. If it goes back down, those will be worth even less. The 3,000s will be like 2,500. And then all of a sudden I'll switch from light to medium and it'll go from like, let's take First Majestic. Let's imagine it's worth 2,500 because it's lost value as it drops and it was already at minimum 3,000. It's worth 2,500, 2,200, and then bam, all of a sudden it's worth 4,000. It's almost like double my position. Switching from light to medium, it's amazing. And you do that across the board and you've got good sidelines cash. I mean, the effect on your account is just monumental stuff. So yeah, you go down, you lose like 10, 20,000, but then you go up, you make like 40, 50. And I've done this a few times and what a difference it makes. So let's see, I could be wrong and it just goes up and then I make less money. So I don't mind being in this position. Let's see, I don't expect tomorrow to be too crazy. But I look forward to my weekend portfolio update and then next week should be fun regardless. Cool, have a good evening.